Hi, I'm Sabina. I'm listening to a Thai football podcast.
Welcome along to the 10th episode of a Thai football podcast, and it's an absolutely packed show tonight. We've got lots to talk about, so I'm very quickly going to welcome Rob.
Hello.
You've been a busy boy, Rob.
I've had a cracking weekend, mate.
And alongside Rob's roving reporting, we've got lots of contributions from people, which is absolutely fantastic.
Great to see. More the merrier.
We always welcome any contributions from anybody about anything, as long as it's vaguely connected to Thai football. I think that's the only condition, isn't it, really?
And it is a family show.
And it is a family show, bear that in mind. Anyway, so we're going to have to crack on because we have got a lot to get through. So I'm going to start. I did get a match report from Graeme, and again, it was a written one. So Graham Watson was at Police Tero against Chonburi. So having to do this through gritted teeth, but I'm going to read you Graham's comments on the game from the weekend, and then anything you want to add, Rob, you can chip in at the end.
Sure.
So this is what Graeme had to say. And an interesting fact in this that seems to have gone under the radar. So we'll have a chat about that at the end. Cracking on, this is what Graeme had to say.
Thai Football Podcast. Match Reports.
Police Tero 3, Chonburi 2. We don't lose at the Bunya Chinda. The win on Saturday means it's one calendar year since we lost a home league game at the Fortress. We finally got to see our big striker Kwame. However, he was pulled off at half-time, insert own joke, to be replaced by the effective Siam Yap, and he got that goal. Great direct play from him, but the Chonburi defence needs to have a look at themselves. Not for the first time. That's me editorialising, that's not Graeme. Only our third win ever against Chonburi, and despite it being a pretty evenly matched game in terms of chances and ability, I felt Police just wanted it more. Chonburi seemed happy with a point. Police wanted all three. Another good crowd, and seeing some of the stats on Twitter, looks like we're well up on last season's attendances. Chonburi looked pretty weak in attack. Well, both teams did, until Bayern Munich's Siam Yap changed the game. Cracking win, cracking night, bring on Ratchaburi, and its non-existent nightlife. And then he just sums up by talking about some off-field stuff. Typical. Police didn't have the new shirts ready to purchase for the first game of the season, but we got our hands on them at the weekend. Unfortunately, it seems I returned home without it and my season ticket. Always a danger of that on a Saturday night. We can only assume what he's talking about there. Great value for money, 1,049 baht for a season ticket and a strip. They even looked like they had added to the sizes this year for the larger supporter and have 4XL and 5XL available. Great news for Steve. That must be one of his mates. However, he wasn't at the game as apparently Pizza Hut had an all-you-can-eat buffet special on. Part-time fan. So there you go, Graham's comments. Anything to add, Rob?
Yeah, there are other pizza chains available, but he's right. Don't underestimate Tero and Bunya Chinda. It is a fortress.
Yeah, I'd say that completely took me by surprise. So if somebody had said to me, which team have gone 12 months without losing at home in the Thai top division, they would have been pretty low down the list.
Yeah, could be a good outside bet for a cup.
Definitely. Anyway, on to the next report. This was Matt Jenkins. Matt is a Bangkok United fan, and he went up to the game in Lamphun. And again, he sent in a written report, which I've read. I've pre-recorded this, so let's have a listen now, and then you can add anything you've got to say at the end, Rob.
Thai Football Podcast. Match Reports. Friday, 25th of August, 2023. Thai League 1. Lamphun Warrior 0, Bangkok United 2. Match report by Matt Jenkins. Here we are on a rainy, mosquito-ridden Friday evening in Lamphun, a 45-minute journey from our base in Chiang Mai. A proper provincial-style stadium with possibly the worst seating I've experienced at an away game, and all for 250 baht, one of the highest prices I've paid as a visiting fan, to sit on gloriously rickety scaffolding boards under rainy skies. To the game. What started as a friendly pre-match coming together of the players, with the away fans acknowledging the services of ex-Bangkok United player Micah Chunawansi, and friendly handshakes and hugs between the captains, soon descended into one of the feistiest first-half battles I've seen in a while, with late tackles flying in, niggly fouls, and a few cynical ones too. Bangkok United were clearly the dominant side in possession, but in reality, Lamphun probably looked more like scoring, and that's exactly what happened. The home side had the ball in the net, thinking they were 1-0 up, until our old friend VAR was brought into action, ruling the goal out for a handball that, whilst it looked harsh, clearly touched the player's arm en route to goal. The decision seemed to take an age, but eventually the ref called no goal, and this is when things descended into chaos. The blue touch paper had been lit, and the intensity level ramped up a bit. A furious Lamphun side surrounded the ref and complained relentlessly. But this wasn't the end of it. Two more VAR incidents soon followed. Firstly, Bangkok United had a goal ruled out, with Eid adjudged to have handled the ball whilst controlling it, and then a few minutes later, when the visitors had the ball in the net again, our friends at VAR were called upon. And, after another lengthy delay, this goal, by Poklo Anand, was finally awarded. At this point, Lamphun completely lost it, with Luca and the coach absolutely screaming at the ref, to the point where, at half-time, 4 policemen appeared on the pitch to restore calm and escort the officials off, providing a physical barrier between them and Lamphun's furious coach. If the first half was action-packed, the second half was the polar opposite and a much quieter affair, with Lamphun looking a bit downbeat and offering not a lot up front, with Murillo missing a golden chance to equalise. A few battles ensued in the middle of the park, but when Anand struck his second, the game was effectively over, and the last 10 minutes were fairly uneventful. Lamphun played some good football, but didn't look threatening up front. I don't recall our keeper having to make a save. Bangkok United looked solid, but I feel I'm massively missing a playmaker or some wing-backs who can play a decent ball through to our hard-working and willing forwards, Mahmoud Eid and Willen Mortar. All in all, it was good fun. Another city done, and Lamphun looks like somewhere I could happily return to spend a day. So, with the 3 points in the bag, it was back to Chiang Mai for us, to find any beer that isn't the one sold at the Chang-dominated Lamphun Stadium.
Thanks, Matt. That was excellent. We do sound very similar, you and me, Matt. So, Rob, over to you.
Another good win. Eid's obviously top quality. Bangkok United just getting on with it. Not happy to see people haranguing the refs. It's about time somebody clamped down.
It's something that's the blight on the game, really, here, isn't it? And it does tend to get out of control at times. I mean, when you're having to have the police come on the field to escort the officials off, it's not a good look, is it?
No.
Right. Anyway, we'll probably touch on that in a later programme. Anyway, reports are coming thick and fast. This is Khon Ob, and this is his report from BG's win last night.
Thai Football Podcast. Match Reports.
Hello to everyone at A Thai Football Podcast. This is Ob, or you may know me as Tactic Times on Twitter. This is my match report after BG Pathum United beat Uthai Thani FC 2-0 on a wet Monday night. First of all, it's great to see BG finally winning games. It was tough, and I think the game showed many weaknesses in the Rabbits team at the moment. We weren't the better team, It's the home side, Uthai Thani FC, who played on the attack and had more chances and could have maybe scored if they were more clinical in front of goals. Luckily for BG, Igor Sergeyev, he's been our key man so far this season. He headed the early goal, and then Shanatip added the second goal for BG in the second half. Overall, great results, but performance-wise, far from good enough. And many players were going down injured as well, so that's a big concern for us. And to be fair, speaking about myself, I'm still high from the Shanghai Port win in the ACL, and in my mind, I'm only thinking about the ACL at the moment. Anyway, big fans of the podcast, and good luck to everyone.
That's great. It's great to have a new contributor as well. So thanks, Ob, for that. Rob?
A good win. And well done, by the way, glassing the ACL.
No, that was a fantastic result, wasn't it, for BG? And a great performance. I watched that game, and they were well worth the win as well. To come away with a win there is fantastic, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on.
Thai Football Podcast. Match Reports.
Good evening from Khon Kaen Stadium. The match between Khon Kaen United against Ratchaburi FC. The match ended a draw 2-2. It was an interesting match. The two teams fight for the victory. In the first half, Ratchaburi scored the early one and Khon Kaen equalized. Second half, Khon Kaen made the lead and Ratchaburi again can make a draw. The match very, very attacking. Both teams attacking. Khon Kaen really up their level with the incoming Steven Lanjil and Olasami Karabue. Both of them we know coming from Ratchaburi previously. Ratchaburi, their new players Mehdi Terki played for the first time, show a good performance. All of the Ratchaburi players also showing a good performance. Again, they can have the ball possession higher than the opponent, but they just cannot find the winner. There you go. Match day 3 of the Thai League. Ratchaburi 2 away in Khon Kaen 2. Good evening. See you another time. Cheers.
Hi, my name's John and I'm listening to Thai Football Podcast, the Thinking Person's Thai Football Podcast.
It was my pleasure to sit down the other day with Charlie Clough, who during the close season signed for Port FC from Nakhon Ratchasima. So this is me and Charlie. A Thai Football Podcast interview. Welcome to the podcast, Charlie Clough. How are you, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Thanks so much for agreeing to do this. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
First off, how's it going at Port? New club, new season?
But yeah, it's been good. Obviously, it's a new challenge, different style of team. They're obviously one of the better teams in the Thai League. So different way of playing. Obviously, when I was at Korat and this manager here, the coaches at Port, they all have their own different way of playing. So yeah, it's obviously trying to adapt to that. But yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. So hopefully we can have a successful season and I can contribute.
I guess you've settled in okay then?
Yeah, settled in okay. And they've obviously got they have a few Thai, half Swedish, and you got Franz there who's Danish, half Iraqi, half Danish. So, and the majority of the players speak English. It was the Brazilian boys there that speak English. They've been in Thailand for a while now. So it's a good group of players. The bond between the players is getting better as we get on through the season. Obviously, getting to know each other better and stuff. So.
That's good to hear. You mentioned a lot of them speak English. How's your Thai coming on?
Yeah, nit noi. I only know a little bit. I'm trying to learn. I'm always asking questions and saying, oh, what does this mean? What does that mean? So yeah, I'm just trying to pick up a little bit. I could probably have a basic conversation. Can order myself a beer or something at a bar. That's about it.
I think that's where we all start, Charlie. To be honest.
yeah, I know, yeah.
So how did you end up signing for Port?
I was contacted. I think it was in February of last season. And obviously, I was at Korat still, and I was captain, and we were obviously having a tough season in relegation, a dogfight. So yeah, they approached me. It was after the Bangkok United game in the FA Cup. I think I had a really good game that game. Yeah, they got in contact and just said, yeah, we're interested in maybe signing you at the end of the season. And we just started talking then. Obviously, I was uncertain with my future at Korat, obviously, because if they went down, they'd cut the budget or whatever, they'd get rid of players. So obviously, I had my family. I just had my baby girl then. So yeah, obviously, I was looking after myself a little bit and looking towards the future. So I signed here at Port. I was coming to the end of my contract. And I thought Korat might have offered me something halfway through, because after 6 months you can talk to other clubs to move on, but nothing was said from Korat. But I guess there was a managerial change around halfway through the season, and then the old director come back. So yeah, it's just football, I guess. And obviously I looked after myself, and I'm happy to sign up Port because they're one of the better clubs in the Thai League. Obviously finishing third last year and having a very good season. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Was there interest from anywhere else?
Yeah, there was a little bit. Yeah, there was a few other clubs in Thai League and abroad as well. But yeah, I won't say the names. But but obviously I've signed here now. I've committed to Port. So give it the best shot here.
So do you find there's more pressure at Port? Obviously they're right in the centre of the city, and they also attract quite a lot of foreign fans as well. Does that bring an extra kind of pressure with it?
Oh yeah, and obviously when I played there with Korat, it's probably one of the better stadiums to play at just because of the atmosphere. Everything's very close. You haven't got the running track. It's like a proper, old school English stadium, with the atmosphere. So it obviously comes with the pressure, being English as well. And like you said, there's a lot of foreigners that go. Obviously, they're probably expecting things from me, obviously playing in England and stuff like that. So yeah, there is pressure. And obviously, like I said, I did an interview with the club and I said they finished third last year. So, if we don't, do better than third, then obviously it's not worked out really. It could be classed as a failure. So yeah, the pressure is on, but I'm experienced enough. I've been around the block, I can handle that sort of a pressure, and hopefully can come good.
Good. And you can probably understand a lot more that the crowd are saying as well, can you?
Yeah. Well, I haven't played at home. I didn't play that last game. Obviously it's new as well because at Korat we didn't have, because of probably the budget situation, we didn't have 4 foreigners, 5 foreigners or whatever. So the free foreigners played every game, you know. So here you've got like the quotas, 3 foreigners, 1 Asian. So obviously the managers pick and choose the games, obviously tactically wise. I think at home they're going to probably go more attacking, which would be more at home in front of their own crowd. They want to score more goals than the other team. So, you know, they might play the more foreigners attacking wise at home. And then obviously when we go away to, you know, like the bigger teams, you know, the harder games, you know, you might put me in defence, you know, so we don't lose the game, or, you know, we can get a draw or something. Because obviously if you win your home games and you draw your away games, you're always going to be at the top of the table. So yeah, so I don't know how they're going to do it. But yeah, it's a new situation for me like that. And that's an added pressure. Obviously in training and stuff, you have to be on it every day because, you know, you're fighting for your place.
What are the hopes and expectations for the club?
Yeah, they want to win. They want to win a trophy. We want to win a trophy. That's for sure. Be it FA Cup or the league. It's going to be tough with Buriram with the money they spend and, you know, the quality they have there. But yeah, I think the group of players we have and the squad we have, I think we're capable of pulling off something for sure.
How do you find life in Bangkok? Obviously, it's very different to where you were before. Even though Korat obviously is a large major city, Bangkok's something else, isn't it? How have you adapted to living there compared to where you were before?
Yeah, no, I've adapted quite well. Obviously, like I spoke to you before, I said my wife and my baby have moved over here from Singapore, so I've got them with me. I've moved into a condo literally 1 kilometer away from the Pat Stadium. I can jump on a grab bike, and, you know, I'm at training in 3 or 4 minutes. So yeah, no, I've tried to make it as smooth as transition as possible. Obviously with the family as well, and yeah, I think it's gone well. We've enjoyed our time here so far. You know, there's always something going on. It's quite good for families, you know, when it's not too busy to get around. But it's good, you know. We can go to the big shopping malls, you know, and stuff. Have a day out with the family, get some lunch and stuff. So yeah, no, we've enjoyed it, and we've made the most of it so far.
Does the club help with things like that, like finding you an apartment and helping bring your family over? And
yeah, they do. So they help with the visa and stuff. We had to go to Laos and do a couple of days visa run because mine ran out from last year. So then, but they helped sort that out, you know, organize it. And then they also when I first signed, they offered to, like, say, you know, get someone to help me maybe try and find an apartment. But I used my contacts already that I knew here and just asked around, and just, you know, we took a day just viewing a few places. Stressful day, but yeah, we found the one we liked. So yeah, we're happy.
When you played in England, you obviously played at the lower levels, didn't you? What would you say to other sort of English players or players who played in the English league? Would encourage them to come across and play in Thailand?
I don't know why so few players come over here and play, you know, in Southeast Asia. I think they're scared of coming out the comfort zone, you know. They're being in that bubble in England. English football's the best. Even if they're playing League 2, League 1, you know, National League. I'd say for me, coming out to Brunei when I was 29 and 2019, it's probably the best decision I've ever made in my career and life. You know, I've ended up with marrying my wife out here, having a baby, you know, living a nice life. Yeah, I'd say I don't know why more people don't do it. But I guess in England, when I was there, people used to say to me, because I always tried from like 25 onwards, I always thought I want to go and play abroad. And I had offers to go and play in Europe, some places, you know, Iceland, Belgium. And I was always told by, you know, my agent and at the time and other older pros, they said, like, if you go abroad, you'll never be able to come back. You'll get forgotten about here in England. So I think people are scared of that. But obviously, if you come out here and you back yourself and you can come out here and have a career, you know, for 4 or 5 years and a great lifestyle, you know. And at the moment, if you're back home, you're paying massive bills and stuff like that. You can come out here, you know, and have a nice life. And, you know, you can put a few pennies away, you know, for after football and for your future.
So you definitely recommend it then?
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Yeah. From my personal experience, yeah, I'm coming up to 4.5 years. I'm 33 next week. So I come out here when I was 29 to Brunei. Like I said, it's the best decision I've ever made. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Moving out here, I got the passion back of playing football, obviously, which was definitely going out over in England, just, you know, playing lower league football. I was at Sutton, then I was Sutton at the time, Barnet, Forest Green. But I enjoyed Forest Green, didn't enjoy Barnet. Then went to Sutton, enjoyed Sutton. But yeah, sort of gave me a new lease of life coming out here. I had to reinvent myself, you know, and yeah, I think I've done that. And it's been a successful period out here, and long may it continue.
You're clearly enjoying it. Well, just before we go, if there are any Port fans listening to this, which I hope there are, have you got a message for them something positive to give them hope for this season. You've already said you're looking at winning a trophy, but you've got about 30 seconds. You can give a message to any Port fans who might be listening.
I personally think it's going to be a successful season. I think we will win a trophy. We have the squad to do it. And yeah, just obviously support us. Get down to the Pat Stadium when we're playing at home and try and get to the away games, because obviously that really helps us with the encouragement. But yeah, stick with us, and I think we will have a good season.
That's brilliant. Thanks so much. And thanks so much for coming on as well, Charlie. Really appreciate that.
No worries.
All the best for the season ahead.
Cheers, Dale.
Cheers, Charlie.
Thanks ever so much, Charlie. It's a shame he wasn't busy last night, unfortunately. He didn't make the bench.
I mean, he did say in the course of the interview, didn't he, that the tactics often dictate the selection. So maybe that was all part of the master plan. But that could have been something that was behind the decision to leave him out last night.
Yeah, well, he played in China, I noticed.
Anyway, we've got plenty more to come on the Port Muang Thong game. And just before we go into that next section, we'll just clear something up. For a long time now, I'm not exactly sure how long, away fans have been banned at this fixture. So at the Thunderdome, Port fans aren't allowed, and at the Pat, Muang Thong fans aren't allowed. This is the result of some serious, and I would say serious crowd control, probably the worst we've seen, or certainly some of the worst we've seen in Thailand. And they decided to make a blanket ban on away fans. Now, some resourceful people managed to break this ban and get in by not wearing club colours. And one such person is Mr. Rob Bernard. Would you like to give us a little introduction to your adventures in Chonburi, Rob?
Yeah, sure. I mean, headed up there, no bother at Muang Thong. Good people, as you'll hear during the report.
Let's listen to it. Rob's Roving Report.
Well, Dale, I hope you can hear me. Obviously, the sponsors here. People playing darts outside the main stand at a big match. You can't make it up, can you? Yeah, I got the minivan. Took all of about 35 minutes for 35 baht, and it drops you at a place called Cosmo Square on the first floor there. Anyone who's coming to a game, do that. Go to Victory Monument, get on the minibus. Quick and easy. If you want to take more time, get the 166 bus, but it will take you a couple of hours. And you will laugh, Dale. Minding my own business, I bought my ticket, and two Muang Thong guys wanted to interview me for the match, asked me who I support, where I go and everything. I was a bit edgy there. I thought I was going to be refused entry later on. Let's see what I can find elsewhere. Right, Dale, so I'm at the Thunderdome. Yeah. I've got Ricky with me.
Hello.
With his friend who's just interviewed me for the club.
Yeah.
Ricky, what do you think the score's going to be tonight?
Today, I think the Muang Thong wins 2-0.
2-0?
Yeah, Muang Thong 2.
Confidence.
Yeah, because we are Muang Thong.
Thanks very much, Ricky. Tollway here at Muang Thani, where the S-Zone all congregates. Atmosphere building up nicely. Kick-off about 45 minutes away. I'm sat with some nice expats. Great place to come and watch football is the Thunderdome. All bias aside, it is thoroughly recommended. So that was fun with the expats. And the good guys, and I know that I'm going to be cheering for Port tonight, but no hassle. They go to Port and they cheer for Muang Thong quietly. Some guys haven't missed a derby for 10 years. It's about time the clubs bang their heads together. It's not as though the stadium's going to be rammed tonight. Clubs need money and need atmosphere, and away fans and the atmosphere they create encourages home fans to come along. Why should the actions of a few spoil it for everybody? Look, that's not my problem. It's easier said than done. Anyway, good fun here in the North Zone. Okay, Dale, it's near kick-off time now, so I've moved round, and there's a very good reason whenever I come here as a neutral. I always come in the end zone. That's the end zone fan zone, right behind the main stand. There's my turnstile. and you can take beer upstairs. More enlightened than some of the clubs in Bangkok, I have to say. And a great crowd round there, always make me welcome. I'm not sure if they're still doing it. I think it might have been during COVID days. They were giving free Mutord out to spectators. Maybe at half-time, who knows. Small cans of Leo around here, 40 baht. Tickets into this part of the ground, 150. Can't recommend it enough. Well, Dale, it's gone very quiet. 1-0 to Port. Here in the 10th minute. A flick on by Hamilton. I can't quite see who scored the goal. Just a quick mention to Mario Monson. I do like the cut of his jib and his dress sense, but he's come dressed exactly the same as Port keeper Sompon, even down to the white boots. Only Sompon's got shorts on rather than long trousers, and he's looking a bit like an uninflated space hopper. Poor Mario at the moment. Muang Thong 0 or 1. 18 minutes on the clock and the home fans enraged. Sepovic clean through on the edge of the box, chose to try and lob Sompon. Keeper got his hands to it. Fans couldn't believe it that he didn't shoot hard and low. Teammate Pop also head in his hands. Couldn't quite believe what he was seeing. 18 minutes on the clock, still Muang Thong 0 or 1. So the team struck down the tunnel. It's 1-0 to Port at half-time. How? I don't know, because Muang Thong played some fantastic stuff towards the end of the half. The pressure mounted. They've got some fantastic set pieces in their armoury, but they're not quite coming off. There was one incident towards the end of the first half that I haven't got the best angle. A Port player was through. He pushed it past the keeper, collided. The referee decided it was a free kick to Muang Thong. I would like to see that on VAR. I haven't got the best angle, Dale, so I couldn't tell. Anyway, 1-0 at half-time Port, but I think there's more goals to come in the second half. Dale, we're in the 52nd minute and we're checking a VAR for a penalty. Well, the answer, Dale, is giving a penalty to Muang Thong, and that's the stupidity of VAR. It's got to be clear and obvious, and I'm not being biased in one way or the other. Nobody appealed. He got called back, did the ref, and he's given a penalty to Muang Thong. Well, you can hear for yourself, Dale. For those of you old enough to remember, Mario plays Pop. The Brazilian puts the penalty away with a plum. It's 1 each in the 55th minute. 2-1 Port, Dale, in the 66th minute. Naguba with some excellent, tenacious play in midfield. Fed Hamilton on the edge of the box, one touch, then struck across the goal, beat the keeper, no ends up. The Brazilian Andy Carroll strikes again. He's having a good night. Well, Dale, we're in stoppage time and Port has scored, but the linesman's put his flag up. But I think there might be a VAR check yet. It was a clever one too. The goal seemed to be going through. I think it's a goal. I'll be honest. I think it's a goal. I think he came round the back of the defender. There was another man offside, which might have caused confusion, but I think this is a goal. Still waiting. I was right. It's a goal. It's 3-1 Port. Naguba went through, laid it square, and that's it. We're in stoppage time. We're in 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time. It's 3-1 Port. The crowd are streaming out. And to be quite honest, the third goal was always coming. They looked dangerous on the break. So, final score here at the Thunderdome. It's Muang Thong United 1, Port 3. Port very good in the second half after what could be described as a very controversial VAR decision going against them. Probably about the right result. Fantastic advert for Thai football once again. Another good crowd, I reckon about 5,000. There should be a lot more though, if only the clubs had banged their heads together. Been a fantastic football day for me, on top of my amateur game yesterday. 3 games in 2 days. Cannot complain. Back to the studio with Dale.
Well, that is fantastic, Rob. That was top quality reporting. I had to edit the whole thing last night, and it actually felt like I was at the game. It was that good. You really caught the atmosphere. Thanks so much for doing that, Rob.
Oh, thanks for the editing, making sense of it.
Oh, it made perfect sense. It was such a shame I had to leave stuff out. But as a special treat, there is a video going to be put together, because Rob made a video as well. So we're going to edit that together, and that'll be available on our social media page, so on the blog and on our new Facebook page as well.
Just to add to that, please check out our Facebook and blog. We're going to be adding fixtures, so you know what's on at the weekend. Trying to make it an all-round service for you all.
Right, so we've got plenty more coming up on the Muang Thong Port game. First up, we're going to hear the Muang Thong side of things.
Thai Football Podcast. Match reports.
Muang Thong United 1, Port 3. The good, the bad and the ugly. Beginning with the good, for a Monday night, I think a 5,000 plus attendance was pretty decent. Surpassed my expectations, so pretty happy with that. In terms of the bad, I think anybody who watched would definitely say it was our defending. I don't think Port were amazing, but they really didn't have to be. But credit to them, they spotted our weaknesses pretty early on and took full advantage of them. With the ugly, I was pretty disappointed with the lineup, which seemed completely at odds with what we'd seen so far from the selections that Mario had been making. It's almost as if he's bowed down to peer pressure from social media, and the changes that he did make just ended up coming and biting us back on the bum. He doesn't strike me as the type of person that would spend a lot of time worrying about what's said on social media, but what worries me is maybe there are other people at the club that might do that, and they may have influenced the team selection, and whatever changes were made between this match and the Bangkok United game prior did not benefit us in any way, shape or form. Still early days though, and I still back the head coach to turn things around.
Hello Dale, this is Kevin from Kickoff Corner, and this is my match report for Muang Thong United versus Port FC. Muang Thong United losing the game 1-3 in the Thunderdome Stadium, and let me tell you, it was embarrassing. Okay, so let me just start with this. Mario should change his style of play, because he does not have the players that are good enough to play the brand of football that he wants to play. The passes are so slow, they are so predictable, and they barely create any chances. So I hope Mario is not stubborn and he changes his tactics. I would even recommend him to go 4-4-2, because today Port FC has already exposed how bad the defense of Muang Thong United is. But let me cut some slack for Muang Thong United over here, because Muang Thong United did lose their back 5. They lost the goalkeeper, they lost Buntawi, they lost Supon, they lost Lucas Rocha, and they lost Jasper Neom. So yeah, the entire defense is basically brand new. But if you know your defense is not good enough right now, what's the point of playing a high-line football against a team like Port? Nail your basics, then move on from there. I know Mario wants to play an entertaining brand of football, but if you're gonna lose 3-1 to Port at home, you gotta bring in some changes. You cannot be stubborn. And also, the midfield, it's the same story like Chiang Rai United. Muang Thong United had a lot of the ball, but they are abysmal in creating chances. Right in the end of the game, they started whipping crosses into the penalty box. They should do more of that in the game. They should not play slow, short passes and be super predictable. If you play against Nakhon Pathom like this, you're gonna get battered. Because first of all, you don't score enough goals. Muang Thong United needs to play Poramet instead of that Serbian guy, whatever his name is. I'm sorry, but I might be a bit emotional right now, but they gotta give Poramet a chance. Talking about the defense, the left back, Tirapat, he was so bad today. He was not marking his man properly. He could not keep up with the ball properly. At this point, I think I'm just complaining, but I think you get the point. It was a disappointing match, and the fixtures are only going to get harder from here on. The next game, they play BG away, and then they come back to Thunderdome Stadium to play Nakhon Pathom. If they don't get any results against Nakhon Pathom, the season is not going to look too good for Muang Thong United. I predicted a top 3 finish for Muang Thong United. Scratch that. They better finish in the top half now, because I don't think with that defense and that midfield, they're going to finish anywhere close to the top 3. Well, that's enough from my side. I'm done rambling, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for having me.
Kevin, I think he was quite angry, wasn't he? He had plenty to say there.
It's natural after a derby defeat. They weren't great last night, but they've got plenty in the tank. They'll be all right once they get the defence and goalie back.
Well, I think we're going to hear a little bit more about that now. We've got a Port report coming up and the goalkeeper gets a mention. Would you like to hear what Toby had to say? He was one of the Port fans who made the trip last night, incognito, and he was very kind enough to send us this report about his time watching the game.
Thai Football Podcast. Match Reports.
A small group of us went up to Chonburi last night to watch Muang Thong Utd against Port FC, and it was a very pleasant trip up north as Port were 3-1 winners. Port went ahead within 10 minutes. Tardelli pushed the ball around the keeper and fired into an empty net after a smart flick on from Hamilton Suarez. But after that, it was all Muang Thong. They huffed and puffed, no real end product, lots of diagonal balls to their wide attackers, Pop and Charasak, but very little of note came from that one shot, which our keeper pushed around the post, I remember. The main incident before half-time was when their keeper clattered Tardelli outside the box and bizarrely won a free kick for himself there. It was an assault more than a foul, and I'm shocked that it didn't go to VAR for a review. And it was even more galling because just after the second half began, there was a fairly innocuous collision in the Port area between Supernan and their attacker, and it incensed Mario in his stupid orange suit and his coaching staff and the home fans in the main stand, and they harassed and barracked the officials until they relented and went to VAR and gave a penalty which they slotted home. Really, it goes to show how influential the manager and the fans were. You could possibly say that they were the star performers over the team on the pitch. They certainly had much more influence in that passage of play. Anyway, after that, normal service resumed for Port. Hamilton had a cute little swivel in the box and fired low into the net, and then right at the death, Ngueba beat the offside trap and squared to Tirasak, who made it 3-1. Well, I'd like to say the away fans went home happy, but of course there were no away fans once again. This MOU between the two clubs is just a document of convenience. You know, it would be very easy to accommodate the fans, especially on a Monday night game where you wouldn't have maybe a full house. The away end is 3 sections, so you could just put Port fans in the 2 furthest sections and rope off the section closest to the home fans and add additional stewards. But if I was a Muang Thong fan, and thankfully I'm not, I would have been quite incensed by how our bench celebrated, especially Madam Pang, who was running around on the touchline and really giving it the big un. It makes you think, if she can do it, why can't a few hundred Thai Port fans also do it? I would love to be there wearing orange and blue, celebrating instead of wearing a plain old t-shirt, surrounding myself with home fans. But I guess as well, because Madame Pang will most likely be the president of the Thai FA sometime soon, that she doesn't want any crowd violence or rioting before she ascends to the throne. Anyway, it was a great night out, and I look forward to smashing them again at the home fixture later this season.
Thanks, Toby.
It's good that his views pretty much coincide with me. I was obviously in a different part of the ground. You sometimes come away and you think, did I see incidents correctly? It was obvious what the keeper had done last night. Ridiculous that it didn't go to VAR. I have to concur with his comments about Madam Pang. She's not going to risk a presidency. Unfortunately, it's going to be down to Muang Thong to get this ban lifted. They're not filling the stadium. Port do for that fixture. Pang's got nothing to lose by keeping the ban in place.
Good points. The crowd last night was 5-1-2-3. What do you think the reasons for that are?
Talking to the locals, they've just lost the vibe up there. I suppose being champions and having it all your own way. You know, realise they're not going to be catching Buriram anytime soon.
But I think overall, attendances are up, aren't they, this season, which is very encouraging.
It was interesting to see more coming in as the first half. It's not the easiest place to get to if you've been working in central Bangkok.
And especially on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Right, well, that's pretty much it, I think, for this week, and we hope you've enjoyed that. As I said at the start, it's great to have so many people contributing. So if anybody would like to get in touch and send us stuff, it doesn't have to be a match report. You can just send us your thoughts on various things. Entirely up to you. We just throwing the doors wide open.
Yeah, don't forget, get out there, see some T2, League Cup or amateurs this weekend.
Thanks very much, Rob. So have a good week, and I'll speak to you next week, and we'll see what we've got in store for everyone then.
Great stuff. Have a great week, everybody.
Hello, I'm Steve Darby, ex-coach of Thailand, and you're listening to the new Thai Football Podcast. You may think some of this is fiction, but if you know your Thai football as these lads do, it isn't. It's real, but no one will ever believe you.